Well, for the second time in a week, the Christy Clark government is under fire, accused of mismanagement. First, it was how the province deals with seniors. Now it is how it's handling forestry. BC's Auditor General is pulling no punches, telling the government that with 2/3 of Crown land already cut, it has no clear plan for the future. And John Doyle says that means serious implications for BC's economy. The government disagrees with the auditor's findings, but the NDP is accusing the Liberals of abandoning the forest industry. CTV's legislative reporter Stephen Andrew has the story.
BC's Auditor General says the math is simple. After harvesting nearly 2/3 of Crown land, BC is running out of trees. And John Doyle says of the trees being cut, not enough are being planted to replace them.
But they're doing about 1/3 of what their own targets say, and their own targets would not actually ensure that the situation is redressed within a reasonably short period of time.
And John Doyle says of the trees being cut, not enough are being planted to replace them. And that, according to the government watchdog of finances, means a significant impact on BC's economy. Forests are worth less, and action must be taken to stop the decline. Doyle says that includes replacing trees with diverse species and accelerating the replanting.
I don't think we'll get back to the same level of value that was there before, but we'll certainly try to avoid future generations looking back at us and saying, you weren't good stewards.
The government says it's already working on some of the auditor's recommendations, but has issues with others.
He's suggested that we don't have objectives that they're working to. That's not correct. We have objectives within our legislation to provide for healthy forests and a competitive forest industry. That's the focus of our ministry and will continue to be so.
He says, I've just spoken to John Doyle, he says you've been falling behind and you know the reason for that. Why have you been falling behind?
I don't agree with the fact that we're falling behind.
The opposition isn't buying the government's line, accusing the Liberals of abandoning the industry.
This was supposed to be a system based on results, and the government clearly doesn't know in the way that it needs to what's going on in the forests, and this leads to significant problems.
Problems the Auditor General is keeping an eye on, promising to check up on forestry management a year from now.
And Stephen Andrew joins us now live with more on BC politics today. What's been happening, Stephen?
Well, Andrew, trees isn't the only cut being talked about at the legislature today. Premier Christy Clark restructuring her executive team today, and that means a very significant cut. Chris Olson, who up until today served as the Premier's press secretary, is out. The official word on this, Clark eliminated the position, but it's been in the works for a few days.
Thanks, Stephen.
You're welcome.